Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Triple N Talk Show. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM, and all our programs are video streamed through YouTube and Google Plus. And please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is NIK NIKAM, where we have close to 1,000 videos accenting our experience here in the United States. We have also reached 1.1 million views on our YouTube channel, which incidentally has been labeled by YouTube as excellent community service channel. So we are really proud of that. We also have a Facebook page, which is Triple N Media, where we keep you abreast of what's happening in and around Houston and from around the world. So we would like you to please visit our Facebook page and like it. It has been a fascinating month of September, I should say, because just a couple of months ago, I interviewed David and Chandrakanta Courtney, who are the Hindustani cultural music icons of Houston. And last week, I interviewed Kruti Bhatt, who is the Carnatic classical music idol in the United States. And just last week also I interviewed one of the top Qawwali singers from Pakistan. Today we are going to be talking about rock and Krishna bhajans. My special guest is, let me see if I can get this right, Titikshva Karunika?
Titikshva Karunika Das, yes.
Titikshva Karunika Das, or TK Das. Mr. Das, we are delighted to have you, and I know you have been involved with the Krishna temple. Okay, let's start off and give us a little bit about your background.
So I was a member of many bands in the 70s.
I see.
And I was very much attracted to playing the rock music. So I went to a concert in Georgia, and I saw George Harrison was performing.
Yes.
And at that time, it was 1974. So he was performing with Ravi Shankar and Billy Preston. And he had just come out with this album, All Things Must Pass, which had the song My Sweet Lord.
Yes.
So because I had this connection with the Beatles and rock music, attachment to this type of style, then when I went there and he was singing My Sweet Lord, of course it has this Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
That's right, yes.
So he was encouraging everyone to chant
the
Mahamantra. So I sang along. And then when I came out of the concert, I met the devotees. There were some devotees there, saffron robe, shaved head.
Yes.
And one gentleman, he said to me, you liked the concert? I said, yes, of course.
Yeah.
And he said, would you like to go see the second show? There was 7 o'clock show and a 9 o'clock show.
I see, yeah.
So he had some tickets. Somehow or another, they got some tickets from George Harrison. So I said, yeah. So he said, you pass out these pamphlets.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a free ticket. So I went and saw a second time.
I see, yeah.
So this is my beginning, my connection with Krishna consciousness.
What
and
actually transformed you in this concert where George Harrison was there, and of course Ravi Shankar? I have watched those videos.
Yeah. It was a very, very powerful, impressive show. So I don't know. This is what we call Krishna's mercy.
I see. So from there, what was your next leg in journey?
Well, from there, I just went in there. I didn't think much about it.
Yeah.
Over the years passing, I acquired some books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. I started reading. But then I noticed Bhagavad Gita, this book is about war. You see here, Krishna and Arjuna. They're fighting some war here. I'm not into this. I'm a hippie. I'm into peace. Peace, love. Peace, love, like Ringo, he always says, peace, love. So I wasn't so much inclined.
I see, yeah.
So, but then as we went along, then I found myself living right down the street from a Krishna temple.
I see.
So I was living down the street and walking by this temple many, many times.
Yeah.
Never thought anything of it. So one time, we were coming back from a festival. It's called Rainbow Festival. A lot of hippies, they go out to the woods and they do something, and but there were some devotees there actually.
Yeah.
I went to the kitchen. I had some prasadam, the spiritual food offered to God. So they had some camp. Someone invited me. Let's go over to the Krishna camp, and you can eat something there. And I said, "Is it vegetarian?" I was vegetarian. I was into raw food at that time. I said, "Yeah, they're into vegetarian also." Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And I went there, and they were chanting. when Bahudak was chanting.
I see, yeah.
He's a very good chanter. He was chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It was interesting because
Yeah.
there was no gap in between the songs. You
I
know,
see.
when you go to a rock concert, they play a song, everybody claps, they play a song, everybody. This song was just,
Continuous.
yeah, it didn't stop.
It's
I thought this was very interesting. And then meanwhile, there's some boy dancing, hippie boy. He had no shirt, blue
Yeah.
jeans, crazy hair, dancing all, I thought, oh, this is very interesting. So anyway, that was my next experience. But then when we came back from that rainbow gathering,
Yeah.
the man, he comes around the corner. He gave us a ride.
Yeah.
He looked out the window. He says, oh, there's a Krishna temple there.
I see.
So I said, yeah, so what? He says, they got good food in there. So we came back
Yeah.
and we had something to eat. And that was the first time I went into that temple.
That reminds me of Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple.
Yes.
He used to walk 7 miles
Yes.
to get food from
Just for
Bab's Swaminarayan temple.
Yes.
And I saw that when he made a presentation to Harvard University commencement speech, he mentioned that, and that's amazing how small things can make a profound difference in life.
In life. Well, prasadam is a very wonderful thing.
Yeah.
When we come in contact with this, somehow or another we're imperceptibly changed.
So, at what time did this attraction towards Lord Krishna take your music in that direction?
Well, again, when I was coming to the temple,
Yeah.
I was taking the free dinner. They gave out for dinner free
We
every
don't
night.
call it free. It's Ganesh. Lord's prasad.
Yeah.
Of course.
But I mean, this was a full meal.
I know. You are right.
Full meal every night. They had 6 nights a week. You could come and eat there for free. So I was coming, and then one devotee, his name is Brigu Das.
Yeah.
He was sitting down and, hanging out, talking like this. He said, so you've read Bhagavad Gita? I said, I looked at that. I'm not into it. I'm into peace. It's all about war. I'm not into it.
Yeah.
Like that. But then he can do it. You just try. This is a different kind of war. It's not like bombing people. You don't kill women and children. It's a different thing than what we think of as a war. So I said, all right. So this was the key factor. When I started reading the books of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, this had a profound impact
that is
on my
like
life.
the gold standard of Bhagavad Gita, and I have a copy of that one. And in fact, the 700 shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita explain practically everything that a human being needs to know about his soul and the purpose of his life, what his duties are, what his obligations are, and what his responsibilities are. And in the first chapter, he tells Arjuna, okay, you are here to fight war. You're not able to worry about you.
Yes. So this is important. We encourage everyone to read these books of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. If you can read these books and assimilate the information, then it will have a great benefit.
In fact, I have translated the English meaning of all these 700 shlokas, and it is on YouTube on our NIK NIKAM YouTube channel. So you can it's about 3 hours long, and you can listen to the entire translation, English translation of this.
I've also done a translation.
Is that right? That's fascinating. 700 shlokas. So ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Lord Krishna and transformation from rock music, I should say rock fusion, to Lord Krishna's bhajans and kirtans by our special guest, Titikshva Karunika, or T.K. Das, Honorable T.K. Das, I should say. Okay, so when did you start getting into the kirtans and bhajans, and then at what time did you say, okay, I have some important thing that I have learned in the rock music and how I can blend these two?
Yes. So when I was coming, there's some people that are already doing this. One person, Mangalananda, he was known as Michael Cassidy, but he had already made some albums in the movement.
I see, yeah.
Nature's Secret, Change of Heart. These albums, we were listening to them. And then I thought, well, if he can do it, I can also do it.
Yeah.
So I started to write songs on my guitar.
Yeah.
And as time went over, I started acquiring some recording equipment. And then I started making some albums.
I see, yeah.
Like this.
So when you're recording this, of course, conceptualizing the songs, what did you use as a foundation? And of course, you use guitar to, try out the lines and all these things. And walk us through that.
Well, again, when you read the books about Sri Krishna, the devotees, the philosophy, then you become inspired to write something. I've written maybe 200 songs, maybe more. Yeah. So
this is all related to Lord Krishna?
Yeah, either directly or indirectly.
I see. That's fascinating, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you compose the music and all the tracks for this?
Well, yeah, mostly.
I see, yeah.
Sometimes I work with bands. A lot of times I'll just use the computer, and nowadays
that's right, you
can do like this. But previously we would have people play.
I see, yeah.
All the different instruments and make the albums this way.
So where did you first try your these kirtans, and when did you start bringing in the rock part of your talent into the system?
I joined the Hare Krishna movement in 1979.
What city was it?
That was in Berkeley, by San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's where I was living. That's where this temple was that I drove back.
I see, yeah.
We drove past and then we went inside to get something to eat.
I know.
But
that's
that
one
was
of the
that
most fascinating things. Everybody who has been to these temples, like Hare Krishna temple or Swaminarayan temple or any other temple or Gurudwar, the first thing they remember is the hospitality they receive and the food.
Yes.
Because especially the Gurudwars, they serve like tens of thousands of people every day.
Wow.
Okay, let's continue with your journey.
So what do you want to ask? We have the rock music, and I also do kirtan and bhajan.
Yeah.
So the idea is that the musical type, whatever is local,
Yeah.
that music is easily understood by the people who are living in that area. So rather than try to bring them in rather than try to alienate them.
That's right.
Because I know when I first came, the Western music was what I was into. Then you'd see the kartals, the ko, and the different languages. It's all very foreign, and it's more difficult to get into.
It's foreign even to all of us, because we don't do this every day.
Yeah.
And especially our children born in this country.
Yeah.
It's because everything was written in Sanskrit, which is not the easiest language to learn, and nobody has time to learn Sanskrit. As a result, we just have to take whatever the parents or the preachers say.
Right. So in this way, I decided, okay, well, let me incorporate the English lyrics and the Western music and try to present the philosophy and the chanting. And it's been successful. People like it.
That's fascinating.
Michael Cassidy, again, he's Mangalananda. I was just visiting with him in New Vrindavan. He was a great inspiration. He is a great inspiration.
Yeah.
But he approached Srila Prabhupada in the early days, and he presented him with some tapes, some recordings that they had made. And they asked, do you think it would be all right if we pursued this and made an album like this? And Prabhupada said, yes, it will be successful.
That's fascinating. So, what kind of response you received initially? Of course, they had a traditional way of doing bhajans and kirtans and all these at all these temples. And when you introduce
the Western style,
and
you get some opposition. You do.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get some opposition.
Yeah.
From people that are more accustomed to the Bengali style bhajan and like this.
But you had pretty good response from the audience, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, I have very good response. I've been very fortunate in doing some very big shows. Which I'll never forget.
So is this? So what's the secret of fusing rock music with the traditional Indian, or I should say, Hare Krishna temple kirtans and bhajans? What was the magic there? Is this the Lord Krishna, or is this the English lyrics, or is it T.K. Das, or is it the audience? How did it transform the audience?
Well, again, people like to relate to the music that they're accustomed to, the language that they're accustomed to. They can understand it better. And then it becomes natural. And then you infuse this Krishna consciousness. You infuse this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
I see, yeah.
And people, they take to it. Because everybody is searching for Krishna. They may not know that they're searching for Krishna, but actually we all have inherently this desire to be happy.
That's right, yeah.
And we're searching in so many different places. We want to find happiness. We're looking this way, that way. But we end up frustrated because the happiness is not there. The happiness is not in acquiring so much wealth. It's not in acquiring so much fame. These different things that most people are very, very, passionately endeavoring to acquire. Once they achieve it, they find out, oh, I'm still miserable.
See, that's the beauty of it, because we all live in a cocoon of what I should say academic society. Okay, you have to go to school, you have to do all these activities, all these things, you have to make money and you have to be educated and all these things. But those things don't answer the real problems in life. Only spirituality is the one that gives answers as to the purpose of life, of the soul, and like you talked about happiness and being content and tranquil. Textbooks don't teach those.
No, they don't. So this knowledge we inquire in the university is one type of knowledge.
It is important, but at the same time,
but we need the other knowledge
all the
as
different
well.
facets to be having a harmonious
If you
life.
don't have the other spiritual side, then you're missing the point. So both are necessary. You have to live, you have to earn a livelihood. Okay, we accept that. But if you don't pursue some spiritual activity in your life, then, when you, or as my friend who was a preacher, he said, you never see a hearse followed by a U-Haul trailer.
I see, yeah.
Because you can't take it with you when you go.
That's right, yes. Absolutely.
So when you leave this place, you leave with nothing.
Yeah.
Any material assets you've acquired, they're left behind. But we say in a spiritual sense, if you have what we call a spiritual bank account.
That's right, yeah.
So how do you acquire a spiritual bank account? By doing some service, some selfless service to God. Then that goes into the spiritual bank account, which cannot be taken by thieves or rogues, or even at the time of death, that is not taken away. You keep that from birth to birth to birth.
That reminds me about 10, 15 years ago, I was watching a AIDS telethon, which was like 24 hours telethon. I watched for like 3 hours and they kept repeating the same message. So I started writing these messages and all these things. And then I started thinking, how can I get this message to young teenagers and young adults about the devastation that AIDS can cause? So that day I sat down and said, what is the best language they understand? Rap music. So I created a rap music for that. It's called "He's a Satan with the stick ready to marry." He's a Satan with the stick ready to make you very sick and send you to the forensic. Don't fall for his music. Get a grip on your basic. So I created a rap music. That's going to touch their heart more so than saying, okay, you're not supposed to, like, I'm a doctor.
Right.
I'm telling you this one.
That's interesting.
And you mentioned about language. Language is not only a problem for like Americans, it's a problem for all of us. Because in India, we have like 28 different languages.
Yeah.
And none of us studies Sanskrit. And all these kirtans and bhajans are all in all these original languages, which makes it very difficult for young generations, unless somebody sits down and explains each word. Like even Bollywood, half the country doesn't speak Hindi. So they have to just go with the tune and enjoy the music, but
they don't even
They
understand.
don't know the entire, especially
the subtitle is necessary.
when the lyricist writes it, they're writing with such deep double meaning, and it's very hard to follow this. So I think this is where your approach of speaking the language of the people who are seeking spiritual help and guidance probably clicks much more than just our traditional style.
Well, it's a fact that English language is known all
Yes,
over the world.
That's true, yes.
So everywhere you go, practically speaking, somebody will speak English. So yeah, it's helpful. And
So how has been the response in other countries you have visited? Tell us about all the different countries you have visited, and how has the response been in different countries? Because that might give some perspective as to how people see things differently.
well, yeah, I mean, I had very successful experience in Europe. I had very super experience in Russia.
I see.
We were traveling in Russia with Garanga Bhajan Band.
So, do they follow English or
There, not so much, but there we were mainly doing the Maha Mantra.
Maha Mantras?
Yeah, very little English. When we go to countries that don't know English, we'll just focus on this Maha Mantra. But the rock music gets people up and dancing, and and there's only 3 words: Hare, Krishna, and Rama. So it's very simple. That's all you have to know. 3 words.
Absolutely. Let's give out one of your favorite kirtans.
What, you want me to just sing one right now? But you didn't bring a guitar for me.
I know, I got a keyboard. If I had known, I could have.
Yeah, I just brought my electric guitar. The acoustic guitar would have been better.
Maybe
we can play. Can we stop and do something from YouTube or something? Just put in a little clip?
I can do that.
Okay. But I don't know. I feel kind of, without the guitar, I feel a little silly.
We'll skip that. Okay, you were talking about responses from audience in the Russia, and was it different or was it similar?
Well, no, I mean, in like Russia, we had very, very, exuberant response.
Is that right?
People were jumping and dancing and singing. But in Europe also, in America, we also get good response. But I found that when you go to like India, also, I've done many concerts in India. We've had very good response in such countries. And Brazil, a couple of years ago, I did something in Sao Paulo, Brazil. That was the biggest one we ever did. Yeah, that was huge.
So they understand English there, or is it?
More and more.
I see.
Not so much, but again, we did a lot of this.
I think I see a lot of South America. I think they are picking up on English because
for sure.
I can say that when you listen to them on TV interviews and all this, they have pretty good. English.
What they usually tell me is that I cannot speak it very well, but I understand it.
I know. Same.
So they, because they're watching the television, and then they can listen to the words, but if they don't really speak it amongst themselves. So it's like that. They'll understand the lyrics, but they can't really speak it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are watching a Triple N talk show. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM, and we are talking about Hare Krishna bhajans and kirtans with fusion of rock music by our expert devotee here, Titikshva Karunika, or TK Das, Honorable TK Das. Okay, let's talk about where do you plan to go from here, and what are your long-term aims in terms of getting the message across?
Well, from here I just go back to my Escondido, the San Diego area, and I stay there for a little while. I'm planning to go back to India and do some more touring in India. We're looking at tours throughout Europe, and I'm really hoping they do another festival in Brazil. That was really good. So I mean, we're looking at different options.
So you travel quite a bit?
Oh yeah, I'm always on the move somewhere.
That's good. So you have a program here in Houston, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Earth Dance Global Shift.
I see,
So we're going to be doing some chanting there, and if you want to come, you're more than welcome. That's Saturday, September 24th.
It's going to be this Saturday, 24th.
Yeah.
This is at the Hare Krishna Temple?
Yes, the Hare Krishna Temple.
It's on West 34th Street.
Right, West 1320 West 34th Street.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a Triple N talk show, and my special guest is Titikshva Karunika, or TK Das, I should say. And any final thoughts, Mr. Das?
Well, come on out and chant some Hare Krishna. Bring your dancing shoes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure talking to you,
well,
sir.
My pleasure.
It's been a fascinating discussion, about your journey in the musical field and how it has drawn you towards Hare Krishna mission and bringing a language which most people can understand. I think that's the beauty of it, I think. Thank you so much, and appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Triple N Talk Show, and we will see you next time, and thank you so much for watching this program.
Haribol.